Okay, so the real barber tutorial begins. Barbers, before you start cutting, make sure you prepare yourself mentally and prepare your clippers by cleansing them. This is a spiritual game, and I am a spiritual barber, and I feel like I've been accepted by the barber life, so now it's my obligation to teach and to show the way and the right way. And we're doing a metal gear fade. I call it metal gear because I'm just using metal detachables. As you can see, I spend a lot of time preparing, and it's no free advertisements on Paparazzi Barber, so don't expect me to show you anything. Just know that I'm showing you the steps and I'm showing you the tools that I use to achieve this fade. This is a very simple fade. This guy comes to me almost every week, and so I'm just really cleaning it up. So I'm preparing his hair, I'm preparing myself. I'm not rushing, but I will finish this cut quickly. So I'm starting with a 5-0 guard. This guard is used to bald the sides of his head, but not completely, because his skin is a little sensitive and he's prone to getting ingrown hair, but I want to make it as light as possible without those things happening. So I use this guard to create a line. I'm not doing a tilt fade or the way how I usually cut. I'm showing you the basics of cutting a fade. So I'm just creating a line, a guideline, but I'm making a soft line. And when I say a soft line, I'm not digging into the scalp to make a hard line, or I'm not flipping the clipper around like I'm lining up to make a line. I see a lot of barbers do that. They create a hard line and then it's hard to get the line out. So I always create a soft line no matter what I do. And when I get to the very tip of the line, I tilt the clipper so it doesn't create that hard definition of a line. So right now I'm just cleaning up around the part where I feel need to be cleaned. And I'm not going too high because you want to keep your fades low. So now I'm going to the next guard, which is a 1. And what I do with the 1 is I just clean up after I made that line, right underneath it, up until, you know, the part where I feel like the fade, you know, should go. Meaning that I'm cleaning, I'm not making it too high because this is the fade that he desires. He wants it low because he's not touching the top. So he's just cleaning up the side. So I'm cleaning up the bulk. The 1 is for me to clean around that line and the middle part of the biggest bulk and the line. You clean up to that part. And when I say you clean it, you're not really digging in. When I'm cutting hair, I'm always cutting very lightly. Don't mind the dogs in the background. I'm in the gully of Jamaica. So I'm always cleaning up very lightly. As you can see, I'm not really pressing too hard. It might look like I am, but I'm always using my clipper lightly because I do not want to cut hair that I don't want to cut. And these clippers move very fast. When you're using metal and not plastic, this is an advanced type of cutting, so you're moving fast because the blade is moving fast. And this is a 1-speed clipper, no advertisement, but you know what I'm using because a lot of barbers see this clipper before. Clipper companies, when you guys are ready to do the right thing by Paparazzi Barber, I will start showing your things on my page. So up until then, no free advertisements over here. Okay, carry on. So I'm going around doing the same thing that I did with the other guard, but I just went a little bit higher. Just watch. When I go up to that height, I'm really just skimming over some of the bulk that I want to catch. You understand what I'm saying? I'm skimming over that, some of the bulk that I want to catch, meaning that there's some hair that you might want to chop and chip around just to make the cut a little bit more detailed. But for right now, I'm just working on over that line, and I'm, you know, cleaning and fading and fading and fading. As you see, I'm tilting and spinning my clipper because sometimes the clipper don't catch certain hair. So now I'm going to go to my 000. I'm gonna knock out that line that I created with the 50. But this is where it gets technical, because you are supposed to knock out the line with the thing that you created. But because I made a soft line, I'm able to use my 3 zeros and knock out a 50 and knock out a 50. Yes, and it's very easy to do that. But when you are making that line, you don't make it really hard, and then you'll be able to grab that 3 and knock out the line. The reason why I like to use the 3, because the 3 is in between the 1 and the 50. So when I'm knocking that bulk or knocking that line out and using that particular guard, is in between those 2 guards. So to me, those 3 guards work miracles when you have a fade like this, when a person comes in and just cleaning it up. So now I'm knocking that line, but as you can see, I'm using my corner of my blade a lot, you know, and when I use it flat, that's when I'm focusing on the line. But when I tilt it on the corner, I'm knocking out little bulks that I can't knock out if I'm flattening the blade. If I flatten the 3 0 and I go up over that 1 where I was using that 1, I'm basically creating another line, and I don't want to do that. I'm just using it to knock out the line and to take out little bulks that's in the fade. That's called detailing. That's called detailing. So I'm detailing this cut. Although this cut is only 10 minutes, I also detailed it. Barbers, remember, when you cut a client consistently, you already put the blueprint on his head. You're just going over it. So you should figure out and know that client's head after a certain amount of haircuts, so that you could save yourself time and not to feel like you're drawing the canvas over. You're drawing the same thing on the canvas over, and the canvas is already drawn on. You just got to go over it. So now I'm going back to the 1. The reason why I'm going back to the 1, now I'm tilting it downwards. Now I'm debulking and detailing even more. I'm going up and I'm going down. When I go down, that means I'm smoothing out parts of the fade. I'm smoothing it out to make it look more clean. You understand? When you turn the guard upside down and you're fading it this way with the grain, that means it's taking off less hair than when you're going against the grain upwards. So this is all just debulking, and just, as you can see, I'm just smoothing it out. I'm basically brushing his hair and cutting it at the same time. That's why people with waves prefer when you go with the grain. So right now the cut is pretty much done. I'm just cleaning it up and I'm just detailing it with my 1, and as you can see, it's looking decent, you know. Barbers, you have to learn your metal gear guards. I call it metal gear. That's just something that I threw out there today off the head. And you have to learn your plastic guards and your combing, whatever you like to do. Whatever you like to do. I don't specifically tell a barber what to use, because every barber has their own thing. Okay, so now I'm just gonna line it up. This client right here, he don't require as much razoring on his line because his skin is very sensitive. Some people, I noticed down here in Jamaica, I ran across a few clients already that say they don't use razor because it breaks them out. I don't know why, because none of my razors ever break anybody out, and I'm just following their instructions. I didn't force him to use it or try me or make me or say, you know, I'm gonna use it better. I'm just don't do it. Whatever the client wants is what the client gets, you know, if he feels and knows his own skin. So I'm just lining it up. And I'm not, his skin is sensitive, like I said, so I'm not really going too hard. I'm just, my liners are really sharp and my hands are really light, so that's a good combination. So I just go over it, clean it up, because he was here about a week ago, so, and much growth. Just clean it up. He likes to sponge the top sometimes, so I'm gonna sponge it a little bit. But this client right here is not a high maintenance client. He doesn't complain. He just get his cut and he leaves. He calls me, he appreciates me, and he knows that I am the man for the job, and he gave me the job. So barbers, make sure you take care of your good clients. Don't take them for granted, and make sure you give them a proper cut. And okay, so I'm lining it up. I'm about to finish it up, and this is the first real barber tutorial videos. I did many other videos, but not this length. This is the first full video. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, the cut is done. It's nice and it's clean. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram. I'm a real Bob.